Welcome, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, Season 2, Episode 13. Last we left off, our coterie members were doing some separate errands and visiting Prince of Peace Catholic Church a couple of times between all of them. First, it was Velda and Amber scoping out the actual church building, learning of a specific individual named Leslie. They reported this back to Urien, and then Violet and Amber went back to talk to Father Trent. Found this woman Leslie there, had a conversation with the good father, but ultimately left him in peace. Where John and Velda went to go visit this Leslie and give her an invitation to come and see Urien Doyle at Club Lush on the next night. Where we left off last time, however, Violet was making a call to Urien saying that she needed to speak with him urgently. And so that is where we're going to pick up the session for today. Amber and Violet go to Lush in separate vehicles. They had taken their separate vehicles, so it only makes sense that they would pick them up before bringing them and meeting up with Urien at this point. So, the scene is yours, Miss Violet, Amber, and Urien.
Urien, my dear, I need to talk with you.
Urien is sitting in the high rise, a location a little bit above the rest of the crowd, just to unlock. There are several places like this here, but he has chosen one that remains less conspicuous. He sees Miss Violet speaking and nods, gesturing to approach to sit across from him.
About this Leslie person that Amber and Velda encountered earlier this evening. I have also had an encounter with them this evening, although it was not my first with this individual.
Go on.
They are, or were, a ghoul to my sire in Detroit. His name was Father Thomas Wilde, but her name, as far as I was ever told, was Madame.
So there is more serpents in my garden of Eden.
I do not know. I honestly thought my sire had perished.
Oh, if only it were the case. You come to me with a sense of urgency. Why?
Because I will be honest, I am shocked that she would follow me all the way here from Detroit. I am not certain what her orders are or what her mission is, but I would like to be involved in her neutralization.
Why is it that you have not neutralized her to begin with?
I was
We
not
are
afforded
not-
the opportunity.
You are not afforded the opportunity. Go on. Speak your mind.
I will be honest, when I first saw her, I was shocked and in the middle of putting a play on the father. I was trying to keep to the current objective, which was dealing with the father, but I also knew that you would want to know so that, well, you are fully informed in this matter.
So let me see if I understand this. A ghoul that once belonged to your sire, perhaps still in his employ, is currently in this city and is involved with Father Trent.
Quite heavily, it appears. They were both working out of the parish house when I went by.
And this will interrupt plans going forward. Is that what you're saying?
I believe she will try to. I believe that we should not underestimate her. I know you don't think highly of me, but let us say she was something of a mentor in my younger years.
So this is a request because you yourself cannot pull the trigger.
I'm not sure I want that trigger pulled.
Why not? It is really simple. This is an enemy, an individual who stands in your way, is prepped to cause the city harm, a city of which you now find yourself a resident in. You have come to me to become a part of this city. So, threat to you is a threat to the city.
At the same time, she could be a very, very useful person to have on our side.
And how would you coerce such a person?
I'd have my own ways.
That's not good enough. That is abstract. If you came here,
I would neutralize her. I would chain her up and wait for the blood to run its course. Meanwhile, I would be giving her my own blood.
one dominant to another.
It appears that's the life she's chosen.
You assume that that is a life that was chosen by her and not for her. Perhaps in doing so you would be enacting a cruelty.
No more cruel than the life she's wished upon dozens of girls.
Why does this matter?
Because for me it's personal.
Then personal it would stay, would it not? You told me of this individual. You beseeched me. And for what I cannot be certain outside of a serpent asking me for help. And yet I must weigh it to the benefit of this domain.
In which case I will try and deal with this personally. But also remember that you have been quite clear that information is valuable to you. You like to see the entire board. Therefore, do not chastise someone when they come to you with information.
were you expecting what when you came through those doors?
When I came to this club right now, I expected to tell you her history. I expected to have a conversation. I expected for you to actually listen and not be. Nope. No. I'm not playing this game. Not tonight. And Violet will stand up and walk out the club.
Sit. Does she continue walking?
She'll stay, but she'll remain standing.
He gestures for her to sit.
Give me a reason first.
Because in the night's time, such things can be made to be more amicable. And if you believe that that is chastising, it will be a very long point for you to end up getting through this city. I know personally Delgado has done far worse.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware, so have you. Your dear little friend, the kebab meat.
So right now we are still on speaking terms. I would like that to continue. Would you not?
Violet sits.
Allow me to express my position. And then express to me why. This is more than a personal vendetta. Do we understand each other?
Yes.
At this point, you come to me expressing a person from your past is coming to cause problems. Now, as it stands, you have not ended up proving yourself in large capacity to this domain. And I have to divide my time between many who need it, or I would not be in such pleasant surroundings. We understand each other there?
Certainly.
So, when I choose to apply myself or others in my employ, or those who are at my side, I do not throw them about on a whim. I do not make requests of those at my side, and I do not order those who are beneath my station. I consider it carefully. A consideration I would like to offer you, should value be proven. Now, when you come to me with a personal matter, if Father Trent was only a personal matter, then I would end up handling it personally. Because it is not a personal matter, but one that harms the entirety, is why I requested Amber to solve it, given an opportunity. So again, I ask, What is the threat to this city as a whole? What must I consider with this individual? What they do with Kine has no bearing on my opinion. I have seen far worse, and I have to consider the benefit of such actions. The mortal coil is not one I consider with much forethought.
Except the reason we were originally investigating the father and now this Leslie is because someone is fucking with your herd. And please, Urien, please do not be as naive to think I haven't put two and two together that Madame coming in and interfering, ingratiating herself with the father is not probably linked. We know she used some form of power on our compatriots, and I will be blunt, that skill is not in the wheelhouse of my blood. Someone else has got their hooks into her. This may be personal for me, but on a very real level, it is also personal for you.
That is an assumption. Maybe a new dominator. But do you know who this new dominator would be?
No, because they are not after me. They are not targeting my herd. That would be on you.
So what are you proposing, Miss Violet?
I am saying if we can capture or restrain Madame, we find out what she knows. We find out who is working against you. At the end of that, you leave her to me and you will never see her again.
I would wish quite the opposite. I would like to know this adversary. So what do you need from me?
As much of a snake as I am, well, actually, you're probably the perfect example. Those who know they are dealing with a snake are often more cautious. I do not think I'd be able to neutralize her myself. After all, a lot of my skills come from her. Therefore, I ask your help in capturing her.
I will see what I can do. Do you know where she is this night?
She was at the church when I last saw her. Or rather, the parish house round the back of it.
Very well. I will see what I can.
Thank you.
Do not thank me yet. I still must apply. That far more difficult. I'm going to end up. But she is to worry you. Do you feel she would ever lay hands upon you?
That I cannot ascertain. She was always loyal to my sire, but her true motives I do not know.
I fear I may be rushing this decision. I hope that the one time I take to listening to a serpent, it does not escalate, not exasperate the problems I am trying to overcome in this city. But if you truly believe that she is here for me, well, you have framed the conversation quite convincingly, Miss Violet.
I mean, consider this, Urien. This father's efforts against your herd began before I even joined this coterie.
That may be. What may be. I will, however, end up making a point. Father Trent and all those that involve him would go to Amber, and yet you've come to seek me out. As a courtesy, I'm sure.
Amber was with me. We were dealing with this together.
And her assessment of the situation.
I do not think she fully realizes the implications.
I will promise you that one way or another, within 2 nights, I will remove her from the board. If everything goes swimmingly, it will happen in 1 night. At this point, though, we are moving too slowly, and I fear we are to be made reckless in our approach. Honestly, I believe that removing her from the board completely might serve to be a better benefit than complicating the situation. But if I can acquiesce to your request without much more strain on resources and time, then I will consider it.
Thank you.
If not, that's why God invented shovels.
As you say.
You may take your leave, Miss Violet. And I do appreciate being kept in the loop. However, understand I am left very much with individuals who have betrayed my trust, who have yet to show competency, and now I must teach from the ground up a new group. My patience in these regards is becoming thin, and I fear that may actually be part of the point. A confession from one snake to another in the Garden of Eden.
well. I will walk away. It's getting early and Violet needs to get back to her haven.
Urien calls over one of the thin bloods and relays a set of instructions over cupped hand. He sets the dominoes in motion. See, his order bears fruit.
You hand over the instructions, and from what you can gather, Alfonso's going to take it into his own hands.
I do warn him about what I can, about the nature of what he's getting into. One can hope that Alfonso and the Thin Blood crew can handle it on their own, or at least have individuals who can as well. If not, well, perhaps it's time to bring in my big hitter.
This will be the point where Amber is going to approach Urien, having been floating around the club whilst Violet was talking to him, giving the two a little bit of privacy, but also keeping a little bit of an ear out just in case there's something that she feels like she needs to know.
Are you actively listening in?
Yes.
Because the club's pretty loud, and you know that if you open up your senses right now, you're probably going to get overwhelmed.
I'm gonna be listening in, but I'm gonna be trying to mundanely listen in.
Okay. Then simple wits plus awareness.
Yeah, no, it is too loud to use heightened senses in here. Rather not blow out my eardrums.
It's a fairly high difficulty, to be fair.
And luckily not a bestial failure. Luckily. But I hear Jack!
No, the bass is getting pretty loud. The atmosphere is hitting the highest point before it starts to wind down for the rest of the night.
Yep. That's fine. Still going to go up to Urien regardless. Mr. Doyle, do you have a moment?
It would seem everybody needs a moment of my time, so why not?
I have but two things to bring up. The first, regarding the person that you were just talking to.
Go on.
You made the suggestion that she and I should work together on this. Yes?
Yes. I did.
Well, I must inform you that apparently she might have forgotten that she had a second person on hand when dealing with the father, as she decided, I want to take the lead. Alright, I let her take the lead. And then proceeded to bungle it and reveal her true identity as far as her name is concerned. Not the fake ones that we had given him. And decided to throw me under the bus in the process. and still got nothing out of it. Now, I don't know what's going on with this Violet referred to as Madame. I don't know what's going on with her.
What do you know?
Well, she managed to do something to me. When Velda and I were investigating, something... I don't know, do you have any idea of what she might have done? Since she told us to leave and I had no choice but to listen. Every fiber of my being was like, leave. Follow what she said.
Sit.
And
Are you going to resist, or are you going to choose to fail?
I'm gonna choose to fail, sitting down. Yeah, that. So... I mean, that, of course, tells me that she's some kind of... Definitely not exactly human. Whether she's actually kindred or not, I don't know. But
To what
shit,
I am to understand, she is a ghoul. A creature that is beneath kind, but more powerful. Fed blood, fed vitae.
yeah, no,
They,
I know what a ghoul is.
that particular ability makes her potentially potent foe.
Yes, you are. You're not, definitely not incorrect in that. I just... My thought is similar to that of cockroaches. If there's one, then there's gotta be more. More that we're not seeing. And if that's the case, getting Father Trent dealt with, this is becoming a lot more difficult.
How
Especially
so?
since now, he will not believe any facade that I put up, considering Violet was nice enough to throw me under the bus.
You had assured me a plan.
Yeah, I had a plan. And then, not only did everything to do with Madam whilst I was investigating the church with Velda pop up, but then plan B was very rather royally fucked over by Violet forgetting that we were lying. And now I'm trying to ascertain some kind of way to deal with this that doesn't involve just straight up removing the father from the picture by killing him.
As far as I am concerned, at this point, him becoming a martyr might be served to be a better benefit.
You know what? You're exactly right, Mr. Doyle.
No. Mr. Dupree, since you have sat down, I have heard nothing but how Miss Violet had failed. But I do not blame a serpent from slithering near the apple tree. It is in its nature. You came to me, yes? And you asked me how to do that which I...
Yes, to do what you do.
When I enact a point, it is done, yes.
Yeah.
Why is this?
I could think of several reasons, but I suppose the big one that comes to mind is you are I suppose capable of driving the point home no matter what the situation itself is.
Do I end up decrying that Amber had failed to end up succeeding in her plot? Do I cry that Benji had ended up causing a divide in my own heart? Or do I handle it and make it a point to show others, give others the opportunity to prove themselves? Violet may have made the mistake, but the mistake was yours in not accounting for it ahead of time. The possibility that you being caught in a lie is not the problem. The problem is you not foreseeing it. This happened in a matter of moments. Tell me, what would happen if you were caught in the lie that you were a living thing after decades?
She seems to think this over for a moment. The only thing I could think is either silence it if I can escape the but message received, Mr. Doyle.
Either find a use for your serpent, or cut its head off. At this point, I am giving them the same opportunity I've given you. Understand, their failures are yours. Because you did not account for those who I have placed in your grasp. I once heard it said that you do not judge an individual by what they do in times of desperation, but what they do with power. I've given you authority to work alongside as the more experienced kindred in this coterie with Miss Violet. If she is not willing to act with you, consider the reasons carefully. In this case, you are in a position where you cannot escape. Everything seems to be crumbling around you, and yet I must assure you, there is a way out. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. But you must continue, and you must find it, and not be limited in vision. You do yourself no kindness if you are simply throwing the next kindred under the bus. That is the expression.
Yes, that is the expression.
I made an example of Benji because he ended up lying to a mission. It was a betrayal of trust. One that he had earned my trust, and the betrayal of it was his sin against me, not his failure. We all fail from time to time. This failure was not a huge masquerade breach, or one that would end up saying that our lives are in danger. This is kind. It is cattle. That is it. I put you in head of this when failure was not a large cost. So I know if you are worthy for when it is at a high cost. Or perhaps we should just give up. Move on with our evening. Make life less complicated. Hell, maybe we should invite the Ivory Tower in and say, "Welcome in. How may I serve you, my prince?"
I'm not planning on making that happen. It'll be dealt with, Mr. Doyle. I told you that it would be dealt with, and it will be.
Show me what kind of a leader you are, Ember. And if you cannot lead, then I must find something or someone for you to follow. You asked to escape of your cage. Be ashamed to put you back in it, just as you learned you had wings.
As I said, Mr. Doyle, message received, it'll be dealt. Now, I had one other smaller to talk about. On the matter of our other new guest, John, I must admit that I have absolutely no idea what I'm dealing with here. And so I thought I would ask you for your insights on, if you had any.
Let's see here. Treat it as a regular. Willing to burn a willpower. 6 points. I know of whispers that he is from Chicago.
Chicago? That's a ways away. What was he running from?
In Chicago, his clan has one way to get admittance to the Camarilla. That is through the sacrifice of those who would not bow to the Ivory Tower. Those who wish to remain independent or an honor corps, dare I say a Sabbat. They were offered in urns to the prince. John, to my understanding, then would not bow. So instead of joining his clan, he is now amongst us. He is little more than caitiff at this point. What do you know of the Sombra, Ember Dupree?
That one, very little. It's one group that my sire never went into any depth on. I know that the things I know are basically that they until apparently recently were a clan of the Sabbat, and that's about it. A name, and until recently were the Sabbat. Otherwise, nada.
You will find no more potent enemy than La Sombra. You see, for the La Sombra, they would burn an entire city to the ground so long as they can maintain hold of it. It is not the need for control that drives them, but the need to gain victory.
So victory at any cost, no matter what they have to break or burn or destroy.
Or whom?
Or I see.
With John, his is a... From what I understand of Mr. Bell's situation, he had a choice. Either kneel or burn. Could have been in Chicago, kept with his clan, and assisted in the capture and removal of all usurpers in their clan. Instead, we find him here. What does that tell you of the man?
He's definitely much more loyal to his ideals, which definitely do not align with that of the Ivory Tower, rather than any sense of camaraderie.
Well, perhaps.
But it also
I
says
only... Go ahead.
it also says to me that he's using us just as much as we're using him, and that if it were to come a time where he saw use, that if we were to come to loggerheads, he would be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve his objectives. Even going so far as to scorch the earth to do so. He was willing to defenestrate a girl. What else is he capable of?
To La Sombra, nothing matters but the La Sombra. They are sometimes fiercely independent. Perhaps it is a point of identity, a schism. I would theorize that is going on with Mr. Bell. The needing to be with the clan, to be with one who understands what they see, and to, well, I would not speak on his point of view without knowing the man personally. What I am describing to you is what I can only theorize from Chicago. But I do know this. If he is indeed La Sombra, keep him in bright light.
Understood. Thank you for your insight. It's given me much more of an idea. What it is that I'm working on.
I think you would do well to know the man you are dealing with. You say he defenestrated a woman, cast her out through a window. I've read the paper. That was his doing.
I believe so. He said that he was going to go and deal with it. I didn't know what he meant. I do now.
Perhaps you should be very selective on what you share with him. If this is what he does on impulse, I would hate to see what his beast would be unleashed.
Yeah, I figured that might be the case. The last thing I want is, well, at the very least, more people being thrown out windows.
You will experience several of those in the centuries to come. I'm sure you will mark the calendar when it is your first.
Who knows? Maybe. But thank you for your time, Mr. Doyle.
Be well, Miss Dupree.
You as well. And Amber is going to head out to... What's the time? What would be the time right now? Would it be getting rather early, or...?
It's between the conversation between Violet and you, it's probably approaching 2:30, 3 o'clock.
So
You
not
have maybe
a
an
lot
hour and a half before sunrise.
Not a lot of time. I'll do that first thing tomorrow. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna head home and make preparations for tomorrow.
To your own haven.
Yeah, because whilst I'd very much like to get through this without shedding any blood, it seems like his supposed messiah, I may need to make a martyr out of the Trent. And it's not something that I'm going to tackle lightly. But I can't keep letting this go on. So I must prepare myself physically, mentally, spiritually for the, quite frankly, horrible thing that I'm about to do.
How does Amber wrestle with her soul in that regard?
A lot of gazing in a mirror. A lot of talking to the self. A lot of self-justification, weighing up pros and the cons. That maybe, just maybe, given Madame's presence, that maybe some other kindred has his or her hooks in Father Trent, and that if I release him from that maybe, just maybe, he might be able to find some peace. At the very least, they won't be able to target him anymore.
Certainly a lot to weigh.
It is.
But let's catch up with Velda and John. Coming from the church, where are the two of you headed?
Velda is actually going to take them back to Lush.
Back to Lush.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, just as Miss Violet and Amber are leaving, Velda does make her appearance. Amber, you do see her on the way out.
I'll give her a wave and blow her a little kiss.
Velda would respond in kind.
Oh, ain't you two just fucking adorable?
Oh, you just wish you could get in on that.
Ain't worth the blood, sweetheart. Ain't worth the blood.
That's what you think.
So what exactly are we doing here?
I'm dropping you off, and I have a few questions for Mr. Doyle.
Oh, goody.
Goody indeed.
I guess I'll tag along.
John,
Suit yourself.
you see that the club is about wrapping it up. With the set has already finished. The DJ's packing up his equipment. as far as the valuables that are removable, and people are starting to file out. The bartender has closed the bar, and there's really only a few people left. Mr. Doyle, a couple of patrons, a couple of the Thin Bloods. That you can see, anyway.
Sure, sweetheart.
That's what you said last time. Would you like to take the lead this time?
I don't have anything to prove right now.
Neither do I. Velda takes a step up and she actually just casually approaches Urien.
Good evening, Velda.
Hello.
Would you and your compatriot care to take a seat, Mr. Bell? Ah, well, ain't that just great? John kinda sits his ass down and sprawls out. Not really
Velda
caring
also
much.
takes a seat. The message has been delivered.
And what was the exact message you gave? Verbatim.
That she was expected here at Lush. That a Mr. Urien Doyle would like to meet her.
And there is no complications.
Depends on what you call complications.
If it is to threaten this meeting, then I would be most concerned. Ah, come on.
Nothing.
Oh, please, go ahead, Val.
No, you go ahead, John.
I've given the lady my word that nothing will end up happening. I will be providing her escort, and I will be escorting her fine ass here directly to you, Mr. Doyle. Oh, courteous of you, Mr. Bell.
Actually, I find myself rather interested in this Leslie person as well. She seemed to recognize me. Not the facade that I'd placed on, but me. Makes me a little curious. But more to the point. Or I had questions for you.
It seems they never end. What can I answer for you?
I take you were being asked questions earlier.
I have been being asked all sorts of questions all evening. I have many students.
Well, perhaps this one might be easier for you. You mentioned earlier this evening about Violet being a Setite. What exactly does that mean?
Setite. They call themselves ministry. But a snake that no matter how many times it sheds its skin, it will never grow legs or fur. Wherever they go, they are notorious for spreading all forms of corruption. Things you would not imagine you are capable of through simple prodding and escalation. You will become. They find what you are and break you down, and then mold you into something else. Much as the serpent sheds its skin, they will force you to shed your skin. But what's underneath and what emerges from it, well, will hardly be recognizable by the end. It was not too long ago where the knowledge of this ministry being inside of a city would cause all forms of alarms. They were considered like an infection in the Camarilla cities. And with good reason. You see, if I remember correctly, it's in the name, after all. They believed themselves not descended from a cursed god, as many of us do, but as descendants of God, the god Set specifically. And in those teachings, what they do, they've become quite a nuisance. I once knew a single Setite who brought an entire domain to its knees without so much as a harsh word.
Intriguing. That explains quite a lot.
Such as,
Just a few observations here and there.
I have always been hesitant to embrace the ministry amongst the anarchs. As a whole, we look at the ministry, and they, with what they do, came and tried to be spiritual guides, as it were. If they're the ones who are allowed to control the soul of the anarch movement, what does that make all of us?
They sound like quite a problem.
Do not doubt the power in her veins. It is the same blood that toppled in Indianapolis. It is the same blood that here cracked Jerusalem to its foundations. And it is the same blood that keeps the pyramids built in Giza. Do not
I
doubt
simply
her
seek
capability.
to understand.
To understand hers, to understand the kaleidoscope. You can understand what you are seeing, and yet the eye does not.
Perhaps. It's interesting, though. Perhaps, and this may be forward of me, but perhaps you in particular should watch yourself. She seems to have made a habit of acting as your agent, if you will. I do believe she even acted as your agent when dear John here joined us.
Well, that's what you want to call it.
Oh, she definitely said that she could hook you up. And she did. But if that agency is used too liberally, that could be a problem.
You are more concerned about what she is doing.
I'm concerned
What?
about what everybody is doing.
Good. A healthy bit of paranoia has never hurt anyone. Just ask the Malkavians. But that is beyond the point. You see that right now, you two seem to be comfortable. You sent the message. Good. Is there any other problems I will have to deal with tonight?
No,
What a relief.
I had thought to let you know that the job had been done.
Very well then. Thank you very much for your time, Velda. And I hope
And yours
that
as well.
they hope that the evening goes well for you.
And
John,
for
do you
you.
have anything to report? Nah. Nah, we're good.
And with that, Velda would up and head out. She's actually probably going to head back to the Coterie Haven.
The one where Benji is?
Mm-hmm.
Is she taking John with her?
That's entirely up to him.
Yeah, I got nothing better to do.
Because you both did say that you were going to set up some animal traps.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough time for that this evening.
Alright, let me just get you both to the coterie house. Or the meeting place. What do you intend to do?
Velda's going to go downstairs and have a chat with Benji.
Yeah, sure, might as well see the mincemeat.
And you go into the house, and he is lying there, as one would expect that he would. But he's kind of surprised to see someone else in the room.
How are you feeling, Benji?
Sup, mincemeat?
Hi. Who's this?
John.
This is John.
Nice to meet you, John.
Yeah. Pleasure's all yours, I'm sure. God, he's still sticky.
Well, yes. You did see what was done to him.
I know, but... God.
How goes the healing, Benji?
Doing okay? I'm hungry.
Yes,
Somebody
as you
said
would
they were
be.
gonna get me food today, so...
Just thought we'd check in on you.
God, how many corpses do I need to send down here?
A few.
Corpses?
Yeah, as in, how many people do I need to end up offering for you? 5, 6, a dozen, Adam's family? What's it gonna be?
I was hoping less corpses.
Oh, okay, you want them fresh, alright.
I'm not entirely sure I see what's funny here.
Oh, I don't know. I thought I would just end up going over to the, maybe end up waiting in the parking lot at 7-Eleven, wait until Daddy Dearest ends up getting everybody's Slurpees, then just step in the car, step on the gas, bring them right here. Have a family dinner.
I'm not okay with that.
Well, you better get used to it, big guy.
I think that's enough, John.
You're
Amusing
laughing
as it
your ass
is.
off.
Amusing as it is, Benji doesn't seem to be finding this funny.
Oh.
I just thought we'd check in and see how you were. That's all. As you can see, John here is rather capable.
Right. So I've heard.
Oh, you heard of me. Fantastic.
You heard?
Yeah, I mean, occasionally people come down here and say, hey, this new John guy's kind of an asshole, but capable.
Well, I'm so pleased to end up here, and my reputation precedes me.
That's apt. But occasionally people come down here.
Yeah, like Amber.
Mm-hmm.
Because Amber comes down here.
Yes.
Wasn't there something about her saving your ass?
Not
In
even
a
going to
sense.
dignify that with a response.
You just did.
Alright, alright. What is the point of you guys coming down here besides making fun of me? Alright?
Well, for me, it's fucking hilarious. I think Velda had a point here. But
Like I said, I'm simply here to check up on you. I'm just gonna go.
Right. God, you're fucking weird.
Thank you.
see, I'm rubbing off on her already.
You wish.
Velda, would you mind giving the boys a loan?
She's already heading up the stairs.
Fantastic. Close the door, would you?
No. And she keeps going.
And Velda's up the stairs. The door is open.
This is such a stupid reason to use this power, but god damn it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna roll. Nah. I'm gonna end up here going up, close the door, turn out the lights, get a little bit more comfortable. Lights out, head down. Let Benji hear me. God, he did a number on you, didn't he?
I think that's a little obvious.
Yeah.
Who the
So how
fuck
you getting
are
along? Concerned senior citizen.
you? Right. White hair and all.
Yeah. Au natural. Can't say the same for girls, though. Pretty sure rug don't match the drapes. They seem cheap like that.
Wow. That's harsh.
Nothing worse than what's happened to you. He kind of crouches down low so he can get closer to Benji's face.
Make a wits insight.
I'll spend a willpower.
Okay.
We're rolling 2.
He gets a little uncomfortable as you get closer.
Tell me, Benji, what'd you used to do? You know, before you died.
MMA.
Fighter. I can respect that. So.
Was pretty good at it. Was on my way to professionals.
And then you died. You kicked the bucket, bought the farm, found your way to St. John's and got denied those pearly gates.
Yeah, something like that.
You pissed off, son?
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I'm asking, you got a little bit of fire in you. If you feel a little bit indignant to your current situation, you feel that maybe you didn't actually have this coming. You feel that, punishment didn't fit the crime. See, I know something about that.
Maybe a little bit. That's kind of why I'm kind of eager to get out of here.
And what? Take Boss Man's head off?
No.
I don't know. If I were you, I'd be heavily considering it. I think that would be occupying my every waking moment. I've been thinking about trying to imagine him trying to talk and how funny it is he can do that with no vocal cords.
But I'm not like you, then.
Yeah. Really? Guess not. Well, I'll be setting out traps first thing in the evening. See if we can't get you put together piece by piece. Humpty Dumpty might not have put himself back together again, but John kind of reaches over, pats Benji on the shoulder.
Yeah.
We got time.
Yeah. Alright.
What?
What do you do?
Me? Well, I guess the best way to put it is I'm a survivor. Can't think of moments since I died I haven't been trying to fight for some form of survival. The way I see it is every time somebody is removed from the board, that increases my chances of survival pretty big.
Is that what you do?
Not all of us can get by just being able to end up saying, look at me, I got a fancy club, or hey, look, I got a new dress line coming out, or producing perfumes, or singing, and all that. You know, some of us gotta end up doing some pretty horrible things just to get by. And I came to grips with that a long time ago. I never got the opportunity, you see. So, I got good at what I do. Now, I don't think there's anything left. I don't have what you, Amber, Urien have. I don't have a place to call my home. I ain't got no clan backing me. I ain't got no coterie backing me. I ain't got no sire to end up here saying, hey, Pops, how you doing? I don't have no family. I end up having no friends. And I have made it very clear that I'm out on my own. Because the only thing that matters anymore is getting by to the next sundown. Because that's what this existence is, Benji. Making sure you get to the next sundown. Count your blessings. You got people who are willing to feed you enough to fix you up. Put you back together again. If these roles were reversed, son, I can guarantee you, one of these fucks would have eaten me by now. Sleep on that. Count your blessings. Not all of us are so fortunate.
Right. Got it.
Alright. I head back upstairs.
And back upstairs you go.
Probably find Velda sitting on the floor somewhere, probably having pulled her laptop out of her bag and started going through stuff on social media.
Now, what are you looking at there?
Anything and everything.
So, porn.
I mean, I could be looking at that, but I'm not.
Yeah. Well, and like that, you've lost me. Starts walking to the other couch and lays down.
Did you have a good conversation with Benji?
Honestly, I'm not sure why any of you haven't eaten him yet.
Because he still has use.
Well, that's what you say anyway. I don't know him from a hole in the ground.
You can see his physique, can't you?
And you can see my lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
One of us caused a problem and one of us put it in the ground.
It's true. But even with that, there are still ways for even a problem to be useful.
Is that why you keep me around?
Maybe. Maybe that's why I'm still hanging around here. Because perhaps there might be something to gain.
And like that, there it is.
Hmm.
Nothing.
You act like this was some big secret.
No. More the first bit of honesty I think you've ever expressed.
No, actually. But like everybody else, you can think what you want.
Well, careful about that. Anyway, sun's coming up. I have no intention of being there when it does hit, so if you'll excuse me, I'll go powder my nose. He's off to crash.
Enjoy that. And Velda would also find a spot hidden from the sunlight within the place.
And with that, everyone in this coterie goes to bed and enters day sleep. We're going to take a quick break and find out what happens the following night shortly. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to this episode 13 of Season 2 of San Antonio by Night. The coterie has turned in for the day and are now beginning to do some preparations for the meeting at Lush, as well as getting some things together for their routine as well. So, I would like, for this new day, for everyone to make rouse checks, including Urien. Velda, Miss Violet, Urien, that beast inside of you is starting to gnaw and claw and beg and start to fight against you as you wake. For Miss Violet, it's especially loud because she's been going hungry for a couple of days now.
Yes, I need to feed tonight.
That you do. But for Amber and John, it's no angrier than it was last night when you left it. So, thankfully, that's the little things. But we return to the meeting house, where Velda wakes from her sleep, and Amber and Violet, after a little bit of their daily routine, come to meet there. And Benji is awake as well.
Good. That's good. I need to talk with him.
And when you
Before
arrive,
that,
you do see Velda is there, and Miss Violet arrives shortly after you do. Seems
I
Velda
will-
spent the night here. Or the day, rather.
I think I'll talk with Velda first.
Velda is probably going on her laptop again. She's probably actually looking at local areas, particularly nature zones nearby.
High or low, Velda?
Hi.
Strangely enough, this little cabin in the middle of nowhere has internet. It's a weird one, and it's kind of slow, but it's functional.
Well, if nothing else, she could hotspot her phone.
Mm-hmm.
Velda, darling.
Yes, what can I do for you, Amber?
I just wanted to have a little talk with you.
Hmm.
There are some things that are going to happen tonight, and just want you to be aware that this might get a little messy.
Oh.
Mm.
In what way?
Like his messiah, the father will become a martyr.
I see. Do you need assistance?
No, I need to do this alone.
Alright, well, if you do need help, you know I'm only a buzz away.
I bet you are.
Hmm.
She winks. I must go and talk with someone else. I hope that the rest of the night finds you well. I don't
Of
know how long this
course.
is gonna take.
Who are you going to speak with, by the way, Amber?
I'm going to go speak with Benji.
That's fair. Although I should warn you, everybody has now taken a shot at him. So keep that in mind.
Yes. Yes, I figured that might have been the case. I'll keep it in mind. And Amber is gonna head for the basement hatch to head downstairs.
And Miss Violet is pulling up into the driveway just as you're going down. But you go down and you see him, and you see that he hasn't really made an attempt to repair himself anymore. You get the sense that perhaps he's waiting. But his predominant arm is the more the more fully formed, and his head and torso looks to be complete, safe, and it's just some stumps as his arms and legs.
Good evening, Benji.
Oh, hey. What's up?
I felt like I needed to come and see you. Check on how you were doing, and
Seems everybody's doing that a little bit.
yes, the others, Violet, Velda, John.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to work to their own ends, and unfortunately, as you are indisposed currently, makes you somewhat of an easy target to persuade. Unfortunately, a lack of arms and legs means it's hard to fist things.
Phrasing. Okay.
Intentional.
Uh, okay. Cool. Right.
But all joking aside, I'm going to go off to do something dangerous. Something that needs to be done.
You see that his face drops a little bit. Dangerous.
Yes.
Something I should be there for. Right?
Whilst the muscle would be appreciated, you're in addition. I need to go it alone.
It can't wait.
No.
I don't like the sound of that, Amber.
I know you don't, but it has to happen. Which is why
Okay, at the very least, tell me what it is you're gonna do. I don't like being kept in the dark.
given recent developments and people that Trent has been surrounded with, someone who can do that little command trick that Urien can do.
Uh-huh.
A ghoul, or at least as far as I'm aware. It has come to the attention that maybe there is some kind of kindred involvement with Father Trent. And as such, the regular methods will no longer work. As such, I need to turn the father into a martyr.
Okay, so what are we suspect? Okay, what are you suspecting? Who are you suspecting is influencing this guy? Are we talking Camarilla shit? Or are we talking somebody else whose domain it is? Are we talking? What are we talking about here?
Someone who knows, at the very least, I feel would know that Trent could be used as a weapon against Mr. Doyle. Someone who has knowledge. Either way, it's too much knowledge. And whilst I don't know who they are, I need to deal with whatever weapon they're using. And to that end, there is a non-zero chance that something might go awry. I know that risk, Benji. That you don't need to worry about. I just wanted to make sure that...
And he's getting a little visibly upset, and you could feel in your gut a little twinge telling you that he disapproves of this heavily. And that disapproval is something you shouldn't ignore.
It's a good thing I wasn't going to ignore it anyway. Amber frowns. And gently places her hand on Benji's forehead. Benji, dear. It can't wait. I wish it could. If it could, I'd happily take you with me.
That's what I'm supposed to be used for, right? I'm your bodyguard at this point.
Among other things. But
That's what I'm useful for, right? Why am I not on my fucking feet right now?
because I'm trying to keep your morals in mind, Benji.
I don't give a
it would
fuck
be...
about my morals right now.
Because I would rather you not lose that because you have had to kill again and again and again.
Let me sink my fucking teeth into this guy.
Just a quick question. How much of this can I hear?
You can hear him yelling. That's it.
Velda's going to make her way to the door and see if she can't hear anything more.
Make me a wits plus awareness.
I do have that plan, actually, Benji. I said I was going to turn him into a martyr. I didn't say what was going to happen to him to make that happen.
Just be careful, okay?
Of course, I just said I wanted to let you know where I was going so that if the worst occurs and I don't end up returning, that you know. So that you're not forever left in the dark. Okay?
Right. Shit goes tits up, you get out of there.
I'll try my best.
Velda, all you heard was... The only line you heard out of all of that was, let me sink my fucking teeth into him.
Interesting.
Amber would smile softly to Benji and begin walking back upstairs.
And with that, Benji is left to the basement. And just as Amber's coming up from the basement, Miss Violet, you are in the meeting place, and all three of you are now together.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Violet.
As well as I can be.
You do seem a little... Have you fed?
It was my plan for this evening, but I have not yet.
You should make sure to take care of that.
Oh, I intend to.
Now, as a note, are there like ropes, chains, blindfolds, that kind of stuff around in the meeting house?
You would know that Urien keeps most of that in the van.
Keeps most of that in the van, and the van would currently be at
Lush, where he usually is.
Lush. So I am gonna have to make a quick stop by there.
Actually,
But
give
the
me
very,
a high or
very
low.
quick one. Hi.
Luckily, there is both a chain set and a blindfold that's been left behind.
I'm gonna need to grab them both.
You figure with that being left behind that there may have been an intention that should Benji get out of hand, that there's restraints for him.
His skin and whatnot is fully healed, at the very least on his torso and face. The only thing that's... and one of his arms is... his dominant arm is more fully formed. The rest of the left is just 3 stumps, so... these will be back before they're actually required for him. If they're required for him.
Fair enough.
Regarding feeding and our dear Benji, I was just looking at some of the areas around. Do you have any recommendations for places where we can perhaps poach animals from?
Animals. Now that is a good question. Would I know anything? Good places to if not in Sanctuary, then in the larger Delgado domain to grab some animals?
Intelligence plus animal kin.
It's just an intelligence. This is gonna suck. Oh. Well, I suppose it's not the most terrible thing in the world.
You know that there's a little bit of city wildlife around the area. So when John and Velda were talking about traps, that could be a potentially good idea. As far as a local, as far as like some place where you could maybe find somebody's pets, you definitely live in a residential area, so it's plausible that there's a stray pet.
So, there are a couple of different options. You could lay traps and hope to heaven that you catch something. Or you
Just out
could
of
look for stray
character.
pets.
Just out of character, aren't there a few parks in the area that do have deer?
Deer is not something that happens very frequently in San Antonio because of how populated it is as a city.
Right, I was asking because I actually looked a few things up.
And there's a nature preserve on like the northwestern edge of the city that has deer or some shit. Because I remember
you could probably find something out there too. And with
Yeah.
you guys being kind of centered on a city loop, it's not going to happen in town. It's going to be on the edges of town. You would find that
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
out past
you know, I
Delgado's
mean,
domain.
and who knows what's out there?
So you're thinking pets then?
Yeah, pets would be stray pets.
I was thinking something a bit bigger might be better.
I mean, you could also try and catch just a whole load of flying rats, pigeons, if you didn't catch my
Ugh.
meaning. But no, there's not any like massive animals in the city. It's just, and I would hope that you don't break into people's backyards and steal their pets, please.
That's the hope that we don't have to do that.
Otherwise, it's seduce a dude, bring him back here, feed him to Benji.
I could do that, but I still feel like that would be too many corpses.
Yeah, but I mean, corpses can go missing out here, and if it's necessary, it's necessary.
Corpses draw attention.
There's already going to be enough death tonight.
I
Exactly.
also think from what I've experienced that Benji might not be too keen with killing anyone else.
Actually, you know what? He did mention something, and if I can swing it and make it happen, I can swing it and make it happen.
Well, sure. I'm willing to help. That is, after all, why you called me here.
Yes. I said that I'm going to make the father a martyr. I never said how. I think he needs to disappear. And I think we've got the perfect way to do it. I just hope that you're good at using a shovel. Urien has kind of instilled in me the necessity of good shovel technique.
I see.
Shall we then?
You know what? I'll put off the meeting.
Sadly, I cannot put off the feeding, or else I feel that would be more risk to you than help.
Yes, and I mean, personal things, personal, making sure that you are personally fed is a good thing. Wouldn't want you to overtax yourself, Miss Violet. So, you go and get yourself something to eat and not worry about it.
Of course not. After all, with you two in charge, what could go wrong?
A
And
great
that
many things.
Yes. Let's just hope that the stars align and that his god is not a wrathful one. Although we all know that well, we're never so lucky. But only one way to find out.
Velda would pull together her outfit from the previous night.
Okay.
And she's going to go as the same girl.
Amber will also go as the well, they'll make a stop by Amber's Haven to get everything truly prepared and swap into that outfit as well, because keeping her identity obfuscated is probably a good idea.
Then that's what you will do.
I will note
Violet will head out and head to the clubs to go feed.
Okay. Since we're gonna kind of make this a quick one and done, go ahead and give me your feeding roll. Difficulty 3. Unless you have a restriction that would increase the difficulty.
I don't. I will be adding my seduction specialty to the roll.
Alright. Oh.
Re-rolling that 10.
Yeah.
Just the 10, though.
Right.
8 successes.
Perfect. So, without any hesitation and without any problem at all, you have collected yourself a wonderful little morsel.
With that roll, could I say that I seduced 2?
With that roll, with 8 successes, you are well above and beyond the difficulty that, I'll say you can have 2 people.
Excellent. And I will take 1 point of blood from one and 2 points of blood from the other.
Alright. Fuck it. I'm gonna roll a d5. You have... And the last person that you do drink from, the flavor is kind of calm, but it doesn't really stick.
Fair enough.
With that, I think we'll switch over to Urien at Club Lush. Waiting for Madame to arrive, or for John to bring her. He said he was going to escort her.
I certainly ended up going out of my way to end up meeting her. Not sure if I ran into unexpected complications or not.
No, nothing unexpected. And she is in fact with you.
Well, like I said, I'd be a gentleman. I'll even go so far as to open the door.
Fantastic. And so you collect her from the church where you agreed to meet, and both of you make your way to Club Lush, up to the balcony lounge that's newly constructed, and the both of you enter.
Still nervous.
Always nervous when it comes to kindred, but we'll see what happens.
Alright, I gotcha. Ah, right there. Big guy. So,
Rather small.
you know my... Yeah, I might be old, but never expected a half pint to be much good for anything. Still, he's the man, must guess. Doesn't look like the rest of his entourage has arrived just yet.
That's strange.
Yeah, I'm right by your side.
And she walks up the stairs towards the lounge.
Mr. Doyle, yada yada yada. I would like to end up introducing to you to the Madame. That's the right title, right?
Yes.
Fantastic. You will have to pardon my misgivings. Please, won't you take a seat?
And she walks with confidence toward the seat.
John, would you be kind enough to step outside and end up there escorting the others when they arrive, should they arrive? I kinda ended up saying that I'd be with the lady throughout this.
He owes me that as a boon. It's the only reason I agreed to this meeting.
Well, if that is the case, then I would not make a kindred a boon breaker, but given my understanding, Madame, you are no kindred.
Technicalities.
Technicality that means much. You see, boons are only worth to other kindred. You being, if I understand this correctly, a ghoul, means that such offer would be null and void, lest it fall to your dominator, who would be
Hugh of New York.
Hugh of New York. I'd like to,
You already know that name.
but I'd like to insight that.
Mm.
Oh, also my specialty, detect lies, is what I was adding, so I'm gonna. Okay, only one success. I was led to believe that he was dead.
No, very much alive. I'm curious as
Well.
to who it is that you think is dead.
Well, technically speaking, that would be almost everyone here involved in this discussion.
Mm,
Almost.
almost.
So, what brings you all the way out here? What use would Hugh have with you out here?
He's agreed that should you offer up his sister, he will be able to discontinue his efforts in the religious influence he has, as well as not come down with a hammer on those who have aided and abetted her.
When you say his sister, you are meaning...
The one known as M.
A fascinating proposal. Now, because I do not wish to end up making John a boonbreaker, I won't end up returning messenger, with horrendous harm upon them. Besides, I don't shoot the messenger. But, you see, there is a small problem.
As I figured there would be.
Yes. What would happen if I were to ask, should something befall his beloved sister.
Something befall his sister.
Well, you see, I am under the impression that right now she is how shall I put this politely, a priority target for not just you. And I'm afraid because the church is extending my resources so thin, and because I have given my word to look over her, you're now putting her safety at risk, and when that happens, and should anything befall my beloved Anne, I would be quick to send retribution to the way of all those involved, including those who served as distraction.
That's to be expected.
Which would include you and your sire, who had forced my hand and distracted me from performing that act. Because you have indirectly destroyed that which you asked me to give up.
It's your choice.
No. It was your choice to try and split my attention. And I congratulate on it being well played. So, how do we settle this without it resulting in bloodshed?
Well, I came here expecting that. That's why I was allowed to come here.
Your Domitor has sacrificed you upon my altar.
But also know that should you decide not to turn her over, he will exact his wrath on everyone involved.
That would be an extensive list.
He's patient.
I imagine. Yes.
If a little moody.
Urien checks the door for a second to see if anyone's arrived.
Unless anyone else has plans to arrive at this meeting.
Okay.
Well, with Violet feeding and Velda and Amber about to deal with Trent, I don't think so.
Very well. He looks at her. Again, how do we go past this impasse? You're making demands and trying to strong-arm me. That didn't work in Jackson, and you know my reputation, so you came here for a form of distraction, I imagine.
Is it working?
More's the pity. I was hoping to spare the father. Tell me, would you come near to me?
Possibly. He doesn't like anarchs.
No, I imagine not. So, what did entice you to come here? A boon, certainly.
Club Lush is such a gaudy name.
I have to agree. But that doesn't answer the question.
Get to know you, your face.
Yes. I imagine so.
I'm simply here as a messenger.
You know, Miss Violet was asking about you. She spoke of you quite highly.
She should.
You're a sort of mentor figure to her. Do I understand this correctly?
I was. Taught her everything she knows.
Fantastic. Was she an apt pupil?
I would say so. Still very young, has a lot more to learn, but...
Though that does bring up a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand. Hugh's sister is Anne.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to assume this was during their time as Kai.
I don't know exactly.
You see, there's no blood relation between M and Miss Violet. This I know.
Not at all.
Is that in disagreement with that statement?
As in, no. M and Miss Violet are not blood related.
And all it would take is to give up my beloved M. For this to all go away.
Yes. Hugh's involvement, at least. He will have fulfilled his end of the bargain.
Hmm. And what do you want out of all this?
I want nothing to do with San Antonio, if I'm honest.
I'd imagine not. Well.
Although, you do bring up a decent point. You should be careful of Miss Violet. I taught her everything she knows about being a traitor.
I would trust that. That would be the first thing I would actually trust out of this whole conversation. The weird part about that is that would make her the most trustworthy serpent I have ever encountered.
She's very good at what she does. That much you can trust.
And what about you?
Me?
See, I have no prior relation with your domator. So, whether the word is trustworthy, that becomes difficult.
I've known him to be trustworthy.
You
Again,
don't have
moody.
a choice.
Aside from the blood.
You know,
I know how it affects me.
mm,
I spent enough time with my previous domator to know exactly how much it increases my desire to make him happy. Thankfully, to Miss Violet's... Well, I suppose Miss Violet would say thankfully. However, I do not. Father Wilde is dead. So you can pass that news along to her if you'd like.
Father Wild is dead. Again, I'd like to insight check that.
Go for it. She seems to be telling the truth.
Fantastic. Well, perhaps we should discuss this with Em then. See what she thinks.
If you would like to.
I would like to indeed. And it's at this point Urien stands up and starts to walk. Starts to walk towards the kitchen.
Madame gets up to follow.
He gives Carlos a nod. Starts walking into the kitchen. I imagine it's about this point the music starts really kicking in.
And the music does get a fair bit louder. And she's followed you.
John ain't exactly liking this. He's gonna end up following down. And it's at that point Urien goes to the phone and dials a number. Waits for it to pick up.
Who are you calling?
I'm calling them.
It takes a moment, but there's an answer. Hello?
Good evening, my dear.
Hi. Where are you?
I am at Club Lush, continuing my work. I was approached, and I promised to end up hearing out your words in this. You see, I have a guest here who a very prominent kindred was telling me that all these problems could go away. The ones that we've been encountering for the past few weeks. Your brother
No.
is their daughter.
No. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, no. No, no. No,
And
no.
I thought you would like to give your response.
No, no. No, he's here?
He is not. This is simply the messenger. And I need them to understand it is your decision. We are anarch. So, I am going to place them on the other end of the line. And I want you to exclaim your answer to them. He gestures the phone to Madame.
And she takes it, and as soon as you let it go, M is just screaming on the other side of the line. Well, I think that, that describes exactly what I needed to know.
And I think that would be the end point of our discussion. Urien turns. And I imagine it's about this time that the Thin Bloods get to work.
On bagging her? I'm not entirely sure I
Bag-
understand what
bag.
you...
Yep.
Alright.
I told you he's been placing plans. I told you one way or another she was coming.
Alright. Then... Carlos and Alfonso kind of appear out of nowhere and start to go for Madame, trying to get past John.
Yeah, John's not going to have any of this. Urien's obviously going to interfere. And I got a cat currently clawing into my back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, we're going to see. We're going to see what a dominate as Urien compels John to stop.
Okay. Do you want me to take over the roles for John?
I can roll both. I have access to both character sheets.
Okay.
And neither. And that's going to be resolve plus intelligence. John's going to burn a willpower. And that means Urien's going to burn a willpower. Beats a beat. So that ends
Urien
up
being the attacker.
which should free up 3 Thin Bloods.
Carlos is going to try and take advantage of the distraction and take out a baton he has in his pocket, extend it, and with some lightning speed, take a swing at John.
Oh, he's gonna take John down? Okay, that'll be fun. Okay. John is stopped. He is utterly helpless, so...
And he's going to spend a willpower to increase that. Any crits?
Wow. 5, 6, 7, and so that's an auto hit.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 7, half to 4. Plus 2 damage, so half to 1, so makes it 5.
Yep.
John is now in the crippled stage.
And Alfonso is going for Madame. He's going to try and grapple her. Yeah, he's gonna grapple her. I was thinking he was gonna use an alchemy potion, but I don't think he has it on him. And Madame is going to resist with a dexterity athletics. Try and get away. Nope, he's got her.
Fox, keep her mouth shut.
And Fox definitely wraps her arm around Madame's face.
And John is going to try and fight this off. So I believe this is a brawl versus Carlos, and this is a grapple at -2 +1 for specialty.
Okay.
So he's at a -1 now.
And Carlos is still gonna try and defend with that baton.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not beating that one. That is. Let's
That
see
is
here.
6
so
plus
that's
2,
6, 7, 8.
half to 4.
Put that half to 4. Wow, one more hit and John's in torpor. Yeah, John at this point is going to give up. The hands up, like, oh, I've been beaten. Urien turns his attention, lets Carlos continue on to work, keep John subdued. Turns his attention into them.
Oh, what is she doing? She's trying to get away from Alfonso. Where did her character sheet go? I've got them all piled up.
That's why I have to shrink them down and double click the top bit and they'll shrink down.
Yeah. She's going to. Oof. She's trying to wiggle out of his grab right now, and she's not having a good time of it.
Probably gonna have some difficulties with Fox double teaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Alfonso a +1 on that regard. She's spending a willpower to see if she can increase that. Nope. Alright, and then Alfonso is going to take her down and actually hurt her. And so she takes 2 points of superficial damage.
Urien is going to...
But he has her pinned on the ground now.
It's at this point Urien goes for... You know those zip ties that we love in kitchens?
Mm.
Yeah. Fun fact, they also double as riot cuffs. And I'm going to try and bind and gag her. And at this point, if everything's settled, unless you want me to roll.
You have the advantage at this particular point. She's going to try and squirm out, but I'm going to consider it fairly advantageous. There's not really anything that she can do. She's not exactly the most dexterous person.
At this point, zip-tied, gagged, and I pick up the phone. And now, my dear M, I give them my response. My actions or your voice.
And you just hear on the other side that she's just... It sounds like she's rocking back and forth and not on the phone. She's just muttering to herself. Like she's dropped it.
My beautiful M. My beautiful, wonderful M. I will see you soon. Hangs up the phone. Somebody get in contact with Miss Violet. Tell her she is about to receive her prize. The rest Let's get her into the van. It's time we go on a road trip.
Alright. And everyone with Madame bound and gagged, the three Thin Bloods, John and Urien all pile into the van.
To be fair to yourself, John, you didn't owe them a life boon. Fuck you. I figured that was the response. Don't worry, your honor is still intact. So, anybody for a Slurpee? He smiles.
Fox just kind of raises their hand a little shyly. I like Slurpees.
We'll grab one as soon as we're finished.
And with that, we switch over, I believe, Amber and Velda, you were headed off to the church, yes?
Indeed.
So that is where we will go next. The two of you arrive, dressed in the disguises you had the first time you came. Nope, I did not actually.
There we go.
Well, you're going for Father Trent anyway, so you're bound to see him. So,
I'll follow your lead, Amber.
Yes.
what do you do?
So so we are in the identities that we were wearing when we first came here. So Velda would look just like she did when. Yes.
Okay, then I want you both to make me a composure and subterfuge, so that I can get your disguise rolls.
Yes.
Three successes each.
I'm gonna willpower my one.
Okay.
Because I have 3 dice that are just looking successes. 4.
All right. 3 for Velda, 4 for Amber. Perfect. So, what do you do?
I'd like to go up into the church, and is it the time of night that the church would still be open, like the church itself, or do we need to go around back to the parish house as it's a bit late?
The church building itself is open, yes.
Yeah. So we'll gonna head in there.
And you walk through the entrance. The little bit of holy water there, just in a little pool, like at the entrance to bless yourself if you so desire. And
Velda goes through the whole shebang.
Amber would as well,
okay.
because luckily neither of us have a aversion to holy water.
Scratch that off the potential weaknesses list.
And you wait for a moment before the father comes out of the hallway off of the main sanctuary. Oh, back again.
Yes, good evening, Father. We just
Twice in a week, that's a lot, if I do say.
We're quite devout.
we try
Yes.
to exhume the virtues of piety. But no, Father, we came seeking you. You see,
I seem to be fairly popular this week. I'm not entirely sure what it is that everybody wants to do with me.
yes, I'm not sure either. But there's a we have got a surprise for you. And I'm gonna use entrancement.
Okay, go ahead and rouse for it.
Gonna get a little hunger.
Get a little hungrier. What hunger are you at, Miss Amber?
2.
2.
Yep.
Okay. Nothing weird
And
happens.
it's I'm nowhere near the beginning to suffer the slings of fortune of one Jesus Christ. But it's a composure wits from him
Composure
versus my charisma presence.
and wits.
No, that's a immediate willpower.
Do it.
Just immediate. Crit.
Ooh.
There are 2 10s in there.
In your reroll? Nice.
Yep.
Oh,
So that's 5.
hang on. That's wits. Okay.
Oh,
You
so
have
that will be
him beaten him by a margin of 3? No, 2.
2. So that'll be 3 hours worth of things. It's 1 plus 1 per margin.
Yep. So there you are. There you have it. He is entranced by you.
No, my father, we have a surprise prepared for you. You work so diligently for the community, so we thought that it would only be good to reward you. We have a vehicle waiting outside to take you to the surprise.
I would like you to roll me a manipulation plus subterfuge, add presence for entrancement.
Yep.
And he's gonna try and see what it is you're on about.
Would my feign innocence be here? Because I'm trying to feign that this is just an innocent little outing.
I would say it applies, yes.
Alright. So I'll roll that then.
Oh,
So that's 9.
that it is. And he nods. Alright, I just need to lock up.
Of course.
And he goes back into the hallway to lock up just about everything in the building.
We'll give him the chance to do so. Whilst he is far out of earshot, I will Amber will whisper to Velda. Keep an eye out and just make sure nothing attempting to hide its presence.
Yep, actually, with that being said, I'm going to use my sense the unseen.
Go ahead and make your sense the unseen roll. You look around, opening your eyes to the veil of things that are unseen, and you see someone.
Shit.
Just standing in the corner, still as a statue. It's very good.
Velda is going to smile to Amber and be like, Well, this is a church. There are always going to be others here, watching, waiting from the dark spots.
Right.
Velda's eyes are going to tick over to the corner where our statuesque friend is standing.
You see him just kind of grin. And the shroud that was keeping him from being unseen disappears. And he walks over toward you. Well, I was never very good at that anyway.
Good evening. How can we help you?
Good evening. I don't think there's anything that you could help me with.
Strange to suddenly see somebody pop out of nowhere.
Strange. Very, very strange indeed.
May I ask your name?
Adam.
Adam. I'm
Hey.
Delta.
Natalie.
Delta Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna roll... Well, he hasn't seen you before, never mind. Pleasure to meet you.
That's a neat little trick. Are you a ninja?
You could say that. You could
That's
definitely say
cool.
that.
That's cool.
Quite.
I saw you looking at me. I could hear you.
Not much misses my eyes.
Not much misses my ears.
Mm. Did you hear anything interesting?
You whispering to each other. About me.
It is indeed.
How about we step outside?
Sure. Why not?
Yes, why not?
And he ushers the two of you outside the front doors of the church building.
Velda is going to follow. And she's going to subtly withdraw her phone. And she is going to... Oh, did she get Violet's number? I can't remember.
I would say
Never
that
mind.
if you wanted to have it, you probably do have it because you met before you met Amber.
Velda is going to shoot Violet a message that just says trouble at church.
There's no trouble here.
Oh, Velda's not so sure.
That's what he says to you.
She's just sending a quick text message off. How does he see that?
You don't know.
He does. Okay. No, I think I see how he does. Because Auspex at higher levels is absolute bullshit.
Sharp eyes.
Very sharp.
Tell me. Who are you really?
Most call me Hugh.
Hugh. And what brings you to the church, Hugh?
tell you.
You don't have to. But it's certainly nice to know.
Yeah. Right. Well. Do I have to ask you kindly to leave?
This is a public space.
But you and I both know that you're not human.
Still a member of the public.
I can tell you're not breathing.
And
Are you making this difficult? Because I would
Are
love to
you?
tear an anarch apart.
I'm simply asking questions.
Yes. Yes. Questions. Trying to be civil. Yes. What was your question? Sorry.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine. This is normal.
I see. We were asking why it is that you were here.
Well, I have business with Father Trent.
Truly. Seems a lot of people have business with Father Trent.
He certainly seems to have noticed.
Of course. Are you close with Father Trent?
Depends on your definition of close.
Friends, perhaps?
Friends, definitely. I would definitely say friends.
I see. How interesting. How... Well, you mentioned that you don't like anarchs.
No, I don't. Most everybody knows that, though.
Do they?
Everybody I know.
Of course. Are you by chance a Camarilla representative?
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm independent. Maybe I just like to fuck with people.
Maybe. I quite like to fuck with people myself.
We both do.
Now, the question is that a double entendre?
That's the question, isn't it?
See, I knew
So,
that someone was going to come by.
how did you know that?
Little birdie.
Little birdie,
Little birdie told me.
I'm taking this little birdie has gingerish hair, pale,
Yes.
pretty.
She told me she met you. Twice, in fact. Both of
Leslie,
you.
of course. So, Hugh, how long have you been here in the city?
Now, I don't need to tell you that.
Oh, you don't need to say anything. I'm just curious.
See, I've already had enough of this boring conversation. So why don't you both just leave?
What do you think, sister?
What do I think? to figure out what she thinks right now, just out of character. This is quite the pickledy-dickle.
Amber, you've heard the name Hugh before. M mentioned it.
Yeah, no I have. And he's a disgusting wretch. Not because he's Camarilla. Although that's a factor. What do I think, sister? I think I would like to use my rapid reflexes to draw my knife, because I do have that on me. In fact, I've had it on me for the past 2 weeks now, with how dangerous it's been. I think I'm going to make a move behind him and attempt to put the blade to his throat.
I would like a dexterity plus melee or subterfuge.
I'll make a dex subterfuge.
And any specialties you have to that weapon if you have them.
I do not have any weapon specialties at the moment. I should think about buying one. Would be far justified.
And he's gonna oppose that with a wit's insight.
And I'm gonna spend another willpower. No, that one's much less lucky. But if it meets, it beats.
Meets it beats. You're the attacker in this particular regard. Oh my. I was really hoping you weren't gonna do that. But at the same time, I was hoping you were.
Oh, I know what you'd
You seem so confused.
And he's gonna make a rouse check. And he is going to make a roll. I would like you to roll me a composure plus intelligence.
Oh, I know what this is. Me, I'm guessing? Yeah, okay.
And he's gonna willpower.
Yep, that's all I can get.
And you take 3 points of superficial will damage, half to 2.
I am socially impaired.
As he says, now, do we really have to boil it down to violence? Because if we do, I could dance that dance all day.
Oh, no violence. There's going to be no violence. No violence at all.
You have a knife pulled on me, woman.
I do. But it's called insurance, dear. Just because someone has a weapon doesn't necessarily mean they're going to hit you with it. Now, dude, now does it? And, Amber is giving Velda an eye signal like, if you've got something to somewhat subdue this guy, use it. Use it now.
No.
Like staring at her like, go.
Velda's gonna step up and she's gonna hold her hands up and she says, now, there's no need for any of this. You're a smart man, clearly. Very observant.
Quite. Thank you for noticing.
It's very obvious. Now, surely you're not here in San Antonio for no reason.
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm new to San Antonio and wish to join your little club. But maybe I'm not, and I'm actually Camarilla like you suspect. Or maybe I'm Sabat.
Intriguing. Tell me, assuming that you are what I suspect, you're here for a reason? Surely Father Trent isn't the only reason you're here.
Quite a number of reasons. And you see that he pulls out a baton and turns to smack Amber with it.
Velda is actually going to step in the way and step right up against him.
Then yeah, I'll consider that an assistance on Amber's part to dodge, if she wishes to dodge, or if she wishes to fight back, it'll be a separate roll.
I'll dodge.
Okay, then it's a dexterity athletics for you.
Oh god.
That's a crit.
Oh god!
That is... Let's see how
Oh
that's...
my god.
6, 7, 8 successes versus your 4, so that's 4 points of damage.
Wait, 8? I thought it was only 7.
Is it?
Yeah, 5 and 2 from the crit.
Oh, yeah.
7 and 4, which you go to 3. You go to 5, which you go back to 3.
Yeah. Yep, you take 3 points of superficial health damage. And it stings. It stings hard.
Amber, dear, take a couple of steps back.
No, keep coming at me. Keep coming at me. I want you to.
Velda reaches up and she puts her fingers against Hugh's lips and says, shh.
Amber's kind of holding her
Relax.
jaw, 'cause that hurt like a bitch.
No need for this.
Amber, I would also like you to make another resistance roll for composure and intelligence.
Okay. No.
That's 1 point of superficial will damage.
That's what I think it is, then... I need to succumb to a compulsion. Because I was already impaired.
Then let's roll you a compulsion. I'm not sure what an 8 lands is. Let me look at the book really quick. You are
Paranoia.
fucking paranoid. This guy is going to kill you. You are paranoid about that, and you have to get home.
Velda said her name before, yes? Like,
Yes.
in front of Hugh?
Said Delta, yeah.
Oh, as Delta.
I know that she said that. Did she say Velda?
Velda actually said Amber just then.
She did.
She did.
Just like,
She slipped.
just growls at it. It's just like... It's like, that... Delta, leave it. We need to go. Now.
You can leave.
You're gonna stay and play.
But Hugh. Hugh. Sweet darling Hugh. She's going to run her hand down the arm with the baton and just gently touch his fingers.
He's gonna pull away from you.
That's fine.
Yeah, Amber is gonna flee. She's frightened. She's frightened. She's paranoid. If she stays, she's going to die. She's leaving.
Yep. Amber's out.
Hugh, everyone wants something. What do you want?
I don't have to tell you.
Oh, you don't?
No.
But maybe I can help you.
Nah.
No?
No. You haven't proven that you want any of this. You haven't proven to me that you're worth keeping alive. So, I'll give you the choice. You can walk away right now. Or I can beat you into torpor and leave you out to the sun.
Very well. I guess I'll see you around, Hugh. And she starts to walk away.
Boo. Another boring night. Don't come back here again.
I'll remember it.
And he leaves. Amber, you have left the premises, and Velda, you're there by yourself.
I would have parked the car a little away, so there might be a chance that Amber swings back around. And if he's gone, then Amber may stop just long enough for Velda to get in the car.
So far as I was understanding it, you're paranoid enough to go all the way back home.
Doesn't bother me either way.
Yeah, it's like a rolling start, like, you either get in now, or I'm leaving without you.
Yeah, Velda will jump in.
Yep, and then she's flooring it.
We need to go to Lush.
No. I know Urien needs to be told later. Just gonna get some myself.
Very well. Is there a number I can call for Urien?
She probably very quickly flick open her phone, hastily get Carlos's number, and almost like toss the phone to Velda and be like, "Yeah, call it. Just if you need to talk to him, call it."
Amber, there's your mind is going a million miles an hour. Why does she need Carlos's number? Why didn't she have it before? If this was so important, why doesn't she have it? Is she trying to manipulate you? Is she trying to undermine you?
Not focusing on that right now. Shut up.
So Velda, you make the call
Yes.
to Carlos's phone.
Yes.
He answers it. Hello?
Hello, Carlos. This is Velda.
Ah, yeah. Little busy. What's up?
I need you to let Urien know that there was trouble at the church. A man named Hugh is in town.
Right.
He is aggressive, temperamental, and very much not stable. And he claims to be friends with Father Trent and works with our dear little birdie.
And Carlos passes this information on to Urien as they're getting John and Madame into the van.
Well, this just became all sorts of fun. You know, I was seriously looking forward to experiencing buying a Slurpee tonight. Well, congratulations, you. We have now earned each other's ire.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you all so much for playing.
Yeah.
Rose, I got your ghoul.
Yeah, you do.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Love
Look, I did not spend a season and a half cultivating a thin blood and a childer for nothing, okay?
it. I love it. Love it so much. How did you guys feel?
I feel so bad for John right now.
Oh, God.
Wait,
Like,
I'm just glad I decided not to send Velda to that meeting. Oh.
And I got to ask, Derek, how does it feel beating yourself up, literally, this time?
I had it coming. Chose the wrong side.
I didn't hear what Derek originally said
I'm
there.
really interested to see how that goes, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm just glad that I chose not to send Velda to the meeting and sent her with Amber instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting a knife to a vampire's throat isn't the effective bargaining tool you'd think it would be.
Apparently a baton, though.
I was, carrying a baton.
Don't mind me, I'm gonna just beat you to death now. What?
To be fair, in my mind, whenever I hear that, I think of like the marching band one with the streamers on the end.
You know,
No, tactical
that
baton.
that would reduce it by 1 point of damage, and once it bent, it now becomes a stabbing object. So, in fact, its damage would go up.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Oh,
how did
God,
you guys enjoy that?
I'm sorry I had to pull
Freaking
double duty
great.
so frequently.
That's okay.
It's not my intent. Okay, I'll play John tonight, everybody. I gotta talk with Urien. I gotta talk with Urien. Like, okay, so what does John get? John gets a baton to the back of the kneecaps and the back of the head.
Yep. Fucking Carlos.
That's what John gets.
Carlos don't mess around.
I am so proud of my childer. And I'm really pissed off at my childer. First part of me is like, wow, that's an impressive amount of damage. As soon as I have to tick it off, it's like, geez, go easy, man.
Beautiful.
You're turning into Two-Face right by the second.
Mm-hmm.
Please, I've been an ST for years, jumping between conversations. Hell, I talk with myself at work. I'm my own best company.
No willpower left.
I have half a health left.
That reminds me, I fulfilled my my desire.
You get
Plus
to,
five.
So I
you get to
heal.
heal an aggravated willpower.
Yay! Now I've only got 1 aggravated willpower left.
I don't. I need to change mine so that I can heal the aggravated I now possess.
Weren't you gonna do that last session? Like 2 sessions ago, actually?
I did change it.
You had 2.
I did actually change it, and it
Oh.
still hasn't come to fruition.
Uh,
You,
I need to change it again.
lethality. The trick with those is to make it a small scale thing.
mm,
The
Yeah.
trick with those is you got to keep it small, because think about it this way, right? Your ambition is the long-term plan.
mm.
The
Oh yeah,
desire
no.
is a tiny step that gets you closer.
The short-term thing that I had in mind was based on the fact of, okay, Madame's not going to be there, so I don't need to worry about her. Just transmit Trent, take him to the meeting house, give him to Benji, and that was it. But
Nope.
complications.
It
Mainly
seems like
one
every time we go to that
motherfucking
church,
Malkavian.
shit just gets worse.
And Urien
Yeah.
just told you to expect everything. How did you not expect that someone would be there?
Well, she expected that someone would be there, but she didn't expect that someone to be Hugh.
Mm.
And she had a hope that it's like, hey Velda, if you could do something about this, please. But that didn't end up happening, and then she got hit in the face with a baton, and her mind got demontated.
Yeah, Velda's not a fighter. Velda doesn't physically fight. It
I mean,
just
from-
doesn't happen.
From what we've seen, neither is Amber.
She's more of a fighter than Velda is, at the very least.
Yeah. Well, I still found that funny as fuck.
You're kind of going up. You're kind of going up against Scourge material, y'all.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Just put
And
that out there.
Amber's just gonna be like, oh,
Finding that out the
shit.
hard way.
Yeah, and she's gonna have to, relocate.
And he
her
was being
jaw.
super composed for being super not composed.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love Hugh. I love Hugh as a character.
Yeah.
I
Velda
hope
just
I
kept
did
trying
him
to
okay
refocus
because
him.
I don't want him to be a terrible Malkavian, but you know.
Yeah, no, Velda's whole thing there was just to keep him focused on answering her questions. Keep bringing him back to the questions, because every time he slips, it takes them away from what they were talking about.
Yeah. And Trent's gonna be left there being like, where did the girls go? And now Amber's just like, ah! Her mind is just
Yeah,
screaming.
that's probably not going to be an issue.
Trent is going bye-bye.
Yeah.
The moment that Madame doesn't show up, yeah, I think Trent's gonna go bye-bye.
Yeah, the moment that Madame doesn't show up, things get complicated.
Yeah.
Looking forward
think-
to it.
I feel like Hugh is just gonna snap on everything.
He was fixing to. He was real close.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I'm like, oh boy.
Should have egged him. Honestly, I should have egged him to snap. 'Cause then he would have
No,
got sloppy.
He would have gone into frenzy.
He would have
That-
gone into frenzy. Yeah.
that pushing him to snap, I don't think would have actually done anything to help us in that situation.
No, he would have torn you to pieces until you were dead.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
I mean,
So
I suppose
instead of
he was
pushing
kind of fucked either
him,
way.
it was very much a gentle coaxing that needed to happen, because you can't force someone like that to do what you want them to do.
Not when they can do it to
Yeah.
you first.
Exactly.
And Amber learned that the hard way, but being smacked in the jaw with a baton.
There is
I would have
always a
thought she
bigger
was
fish.
used to it by now.
Different kind of hammer.
I feel kind of bad because Violet didn't get a whole lot of airtime today.
At the same time, she got a lot of character advancement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're on the topic, if everyone has done what they can to recover willpower, let's move on to some experience.
Before
Oh, we do.
Yes,
Madame is my touchstone.
she is.
She technically took damage today.
She did. You don't know about it yet, so I'm not going to count it yet.
Okay, just checking.
You will count it as soon as you find out, and I will trust you to mark that next time.
Yep.
As soon as you found out.
I do need to, I suppose, advocate for myself taking a stain, because I broke my conviction today.
Which conviction would that be?
Don't be afraid to take your dreams by force if you must. A complication to her desire and dealing with it presented itself, and she ran away in fear.
Ouch.
The entire point is don't be afraid, and she was afraid. She ran like a coward.
Yep. Mark a stain for that then.
Let's see
So-
here.
I will remorse.
I'm going to double check. John hadn't broken a conviction, did Urien?
I don't think Urien did.
Yeah, no. If anything, he would have been covered by his second conviction.
You were indulging in a little bit of violence.
Yeah.
And thankfully, Amber, it doesn't hurt your humanity. You are upset that you got so afraid.
I hate it.
And you have to spend at least an hour by yourself coming up, but with a
that's gonna be Amber's just gonna go to her haven and basically say to Velda, it's just like, look, I need some time alone. I'll call one of the others to come get you.
And to be fair, that paranoia has you thinking that Velda's conspiring against you.
Yeah, which is why, I mean, Amber's not gonna let that on. Amber's just gonna act like she's not even. She thinks that Velda might be conspiring against her, but her main thoughts right now is, I just need to get into my little.
You're basically
cocoon.
dissociating right now.
Yeah, I just need to get into my little cocoon and be safe.
Yes, be safe. Get to your safe space.
Which is why it's just going to be like, call one of the others, get one of the others to come pick Velda up, and then just curl up in a ball and cry for an hour.
Yep.
Hey, you can sit right beside him.
I'm pretty sure Amber's going to her own personal haven. I don't think she's going to the big coterie haven.
Yeah.
No, she's going to the personal haven.
That's essentially what M's doing right now too. So.
Coterie Haven has Randolph, and she'd rather not deal with him.
One thing I will kind of love, as Violet has pointed out, other than the fact she just happens to know one of the pawns in this game, this is not her fault.
Nope.
No, it's just one of the she knows one of the pawns in this game because she was related to that, and due to some shenaniganery, just been drawn straight into it.
Yep.
It's been drawn straight into the middle.
I'm hoping that you guys are loving what's going on right now, though.
Yes.
It's interesting.
I'm very much enjoying it, but it is.
It is experience
you said
time.
It's experience time.
It's experience time. Each of you gets one to spend.
Yes.
Derek, I'll let you choose to either spend it on Urien or spend it on John, or take an advancement for Carlos.
I'm going to take an advance for Carlos because he was a heavy hitter this game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How would you like Carlos to advance?
Carlos is a heavy hitter. I want him to keep doing that.
Okay. Then he will keep doing that. I am going to give him a free dot and a skill.
Because, fact of the matter is that, let's be honest here, how many of us ever end up hearing about the bodyguard Tremere?
The bodyguard Tremere, who's basically a wee baby, because he's 14th gen, full-blood Tremere, because he got lucky.
He lucked out and didn't end up becoming a cater for a thin blood.
Yep. Look at this baby.
I love that baby. My baby.
He's your baby.
Oh no.
Uh, so,
God, I love my low birth solution.
let's talk about some of the character voted experience. So, we're gonna do these things kind of similar to the way we do Detroit, in that you can choose either Urien or John, Velda, Violet, or Amber for best scene, for best who moved the plot, and best line. So, who moved our plot?
Oh, that could be that could be anyone this session. Everyone moved a plot this session. Like Violet got a massive amount of character advancement. Amber and Velda did a whole bunch of stuff as far as the church and everything went. With all the plot
Urien
with
and John also did a whole bunch
Urien-
of stuff.
Yeah, Urien and John with Madame. That's a hard one. That's a really hard one. Everyone did
High
quite
or
a
low for
large amount of
everybody?
plot.
Honestly, yeah.
High low
Yeah.
for everyone.
Actually, because it's my prerogative, I'm just gonna give it to you.
Oh,
Alright,
yay.
yeah. I will accept.
Because I enjoyed all of
Graciously.
this, and so all of you motherfuckers get a free experience for moving plot. Because you all did.
Yay.
Then, for that one, you just spend a point on whichever character, Derek, or both characters. Yeah, both characters.
Okay.
Best scene.
Scene.
I kind of want to say Violet poking Urien.
Yeah.
I kind of
That
want to
was pretty
agree
good.
with that. I kind of want to agree with that. But then there was also the fact that Amber went chicken shit.
Yeah. Amber's
Tough
Amber's
call.
Amber's spine slid straight out of her anus and she ran.
Sorry, I just visualized.
She really did, though.
She really did.
Like, I want to draw that now.
Oh, you
Oh,
should.
God.
You should, because it's macabre in a very Derek way.
Oh,
Honestly, I agree with Violet. Honestly,
I do also agree with Violet. Like, I can understand the sell for Amber, but
Yeah.
more
okay.
of that's coming. I'd give it to Violet.
I'm kind of split, so yeah, I'll say give it to Violet.
Okay. Then we'll give it to Violet for our best scene. Best line.
I'm split
Ooh. What do you
because, well, there's the. So, who's up for a Slurpee?
If Fox just
Right.
raises
Oh my
their hand
God.
being cute.
Right? There's that. But then there's a combination. There's a combination with Amber where Amber ends up saying Urien has made it very aware to up my shovel technique.
Yeah,
Urien
and
has instilled good shovel technique.
Yeah, it's like Urien has made sure to drive the point home of having good shovel technique.
Yeah, and then immediately, like 2 scenes in, which made it come a full circle, was we're here to exhume the virtues of piety.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just immediately, like after saying good shovel technique.
Oh my god, this session was so good, y'all.
You know what? I agree with that assessment.
Yeah,
That one's an
shovel
Amber.
I'm kind
technique.
of split. Because I heard Mox break out laughing and had to self-mute.
On both. Yeah.
Right? As soon as the Slurpee line came out, so I know it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, we can high or low that between Urien and Amber.
Yeah.
Yeah, high or low.
Rose is the deciding factor here.
What's your thoughts, Rose?
Oh, high or lower, I can't choose between the two.
All right.
Okay, high clan high.
Yeah, high clan high.
All right.
No whammies.
Mm.
Whammy.
Sadly,
well.
it's a whammy on that one. Boo hoo.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh well. I hope you enjoyed the session. We
I
are
did.
we are going to sign off for the night.
Before we do,
Sure.
I do have an XP expenditure.
Ooh. What you doing?
Melee specialty knives.
Sure. Yeah. Do it.
And that's all I'm doing.
Anyone else spending?
Nope. I'm good.
I may have to spend some because of I've got a lot sitting there right now, but I just need to actually think about how that would be spent.
Yeah. Cool beans.
Subterfuge, instigation.
Ooh, that's a good one. But I don't know that I would actually make anybody roll for that, to be fair. That's more in character between PCs. At least what's happened today. But if you want to instigate things in people, you can take it as a specialty. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say no.
I was thinking of boosting up my subterfuge, but I'll have to have a think on that.
Okay.
That's perfectly valid. Velda, you spending any XP?
Not yet. I've got to
Gotta have a
sit
think.
down and think about it
Fair enough.
because I don't know where I want to take her.
Fair enough. Well, that does it for everything today. We will be back Friday, I believe, for an art stream. So, we'll see you all Friday. Until then, say
Yes.
goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Somebody help me.
Good night, everyone.